just spoke out to me. And ever since I made it my major, it's been like nothing but good blessings to me. I've been able to get a lot of internships, and I've been able to just do a lot of things that I never thought I would do. It. I have fun in everything that I've done. So when you're picking your major, I feel as if you should just look around at different types of majors. The business major is definitely one of the best majors, if not the best. We have an awesome advisor, and I'm telling you guys, you will love being a business major. If not business, sports management, if not sports management, accounting. It's so many different fields to sports management, to business that you don't really realize until you actually do some digging. And when you find what you want to see, when you find the major that you want to be in, I'm telling you, you're gonna be happy. I'm telling you, this smile is genuine right now.
Thank you for sharing that, Toby. I know there's a lot of athletes at this school, so hopefully we've got a couple of them here and they can attest to the fact that Rosemont's a great place for that. So I think that's a really good spot to transition over to Zach, who's also a sports management major.
Yeah, thank you. So kind of not the same way as Toby kind of found it. I mean, I was always interested in sports. I played sports throughout my entire high school career, like multiple sports. But I came into Rosemont as an environmental studies like major. That's really what I wanted to do. And, I kind of just took my gen eds, kept an open mind, and I came across sports management gen ed class with Professor Hagedorn. I ended up really liking it. And it was just kind of, stars aligned at the right time, and that's kind of what I wanted to do. And that's kind of my big tip for freshmen is just keep an open mind, because you guys never know what gen eds or what classes you're going to take that are going to benefit you in the future. And for me, I was just fortunate enough to, be able to find the sports management class and be able to really take me. And that's kind of just the path I've been going down for the past 2 years now.
Like Zach, I actually also came into this school and I was planning on being environmental science. That's the reason I came to Rosemont. And I was dead set on that for my entire freshman year before I started a project that worked with a lot of business students, and I discovered that I really liked it. So on the first day of classes of my sophomore year, I dropped all of my classes, skipped everything, and then the next day became a management major, and then halfway through the year decided I actually like finance better. So hopefully this time it sticks, but it's just as you're going through school, you'll notice like you change as a person and your opinions on things are changing a lot. So you just got to be brave and like dig deep to figure out what really is you. And that's my advice, is just keep looking, because Rosemont's full of opportunities. I want to give it to Brooks now to tell us about her major.
All right, so initially came into school as an international business major, and I was going to be an international business and a political science major because I wanted to work in DC, and I wanted to work with like big orgs, specifically nonprofit organizations, basically. And I was really focused on things like returning to like social justice and stuff like that. So I thought that was a pathway I wanted to take. And one of the gen eds that we have to take for like the business department is financial accounting. So I took that class my freshman year, fall semester, and because of that class and because of Dean Chittick, who teaches the class, he's the one that kind of was like, hey, like you kind of like really good at this, you have an affinity for this, like you should consider taking this on as a major. So I did, and I haven't regretted it since. It's a lot of fun. You can do so much stuff in accounting, so much stuff. You can work for anyone. I was lucky enough to have the chance to, I think it was during one of our a lot of our networking events, I was able to meet a recruiter from EY that I connected with on LinkedIn, and I was able basically just get in contact with her, and I had like one of the best opportunities I've ever had in my life. And because of that, I'll probably, if everything goes well for during my internship, I'll be set for life. And I'm just super excited because if it wasn't for all the things that Rosemont has, especially business networking society specifically for business majors, and Professor Hagedorn being the gem that she is, and like basically like pushing and motivating like each and every student inside of the business department to like basically be the best person they could, I don't know if I would be as successful, but yeah. So I think I appreciate that. So yeah.
think Brooks brings up a really good point about all the different things at Rosemont. Just anyone who isn't in the Business Networking Society, that's a club at Rosemont that I recommend for everyone because you meet some amazing people at Rosemont. We're actually going to move it over to somebody who is in charge of a different club at Rosemont. So Hector, if you want to tell us about your major.
Sure. So hello, everyone. So I guess my story is kind of different because ever since I was in high school, I really enjoyed my physics courses, math, calculus and all that. So I thought that when I went to college, I wanted to, major in maybe, I don't know, engineering or something like that. But at the end of the day, that didn't work out and I had to end up coming to Rosemont. And at that point, I didn't know what I wanted to do because I always loved math and physics and all that. And of course, that's nothing that we offer here in Rosemont. So at first I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I guess I'm just going to go undecided for business. And then I'm going to just, I don't know, do a minor in math and see where everything goes. Maybe I'm going to be able to transfer out. And just like Brooke says, I also took financial accounting and it was the best experience ever. Dean Chittick is a great professor, and he was the one who actually encouraged me to major in accounting. And ever since then, it's been a blessing, honestly. And after that, I decided to, during my freshman year, my spring semester, I did an internship for the IRS. It was kind of volunteering, just doing taxes for low-income people. And that's when I really discovered that I really love accounting and taxes. And then after that, Dean Chittick, he told me, hey, if you really like accounting, you should go for your CPA license, work in public accounting. And after that, I was like, okay, I might give it a try. And then we founded this great club at our school, which is called Alpha, Association for Latino Professionals. We're actually a national organization, and we were able to found a chapter at Rosemont. And it was through Alpha that I was also able to find two great internships with two great accounting firms. One is CLA, Clifton Larson Allen, which I was able to do an internship in Texas for private people. And then I was also able to do another internship with another accounting firm, which is called Deloitte. And I work in their international tax department. And it's been through Alpha also that I was able to get my full-time. After I finished my internship with Deloitte, I was also able to get a full-time offer. So next year I'm going to join them. And it's been thanks to, Dean Chittick and Alpha and also Professor Hagedorn, because she was the one who pushed for the creation of our Alpha chapter at Rosemont. So if it wasn't thanks for Alpha, Dr. Hagedorn, and Dean Chittick, I don't think I would be able to, speak to you guys today. So, yeah.
That was really moving. Thank you, Hector. We have one more panelist who wants to share just a brief overview of her major. So, Chrissy, if you want to tell us about how you came to be where you are.
So I actually came into Rosemont knowing dead on I wanted to major in management. But I kind of thought, I'll get good grades, I'll do that, but that's all I really need to do. I'll get my degree and get out of here. It wasn't until I actually took the management classes and I really loved it. Of course, getting good grades was also always important to me, but I said, you know what, I kind of want to minor in international business. I like it, it's interesting, it'll be useful. And then from there, I decided I'm also going to pick up another major because when it falls under that business umbrella, it is really easy to do that if you put in the work. So now I'm going to be graduating 2021 with 2 degrees. I can't speak for every major, obviously. I think we have the best advisor. Professor Hagedorn is in charge of the business department. It's made it easy to be a student athlete. It's made it easy. She knew I was scrambling for an internship because I was going to do a study abroad and that got canceled. And within a week or two, I found one and it was, not a stressful period of my time. But I sit in my management classes and I just sit there and I know like I picked the perfect major. I connect with everything. And that is why I think picking a major you're really interested in is so important and so crucial to your college career because I really enjoy what I do. Without it, I wouldn't have been able to launch my own business. It really has taught me a lot, but finding that passion, that's why maybe take gen eds early to kind of dip your toes in and figure out what you like. Because when I sit in the classrooms, I'm interested and everything connects and makes sense in my mind. And I know this is what I want to do.
That was another really great story. I'm noticing just amongst the few business majors we have talking today that a lot of us look to be overachievers, and a lot of you really are. I think though that's just a natural thing in the business department is the way we all interact with each other and uplift each other. There's so many different opportunities and there's so many different ways to succeed. You kind of just fall into these different opportunities and end up having multiple majors or a minor or a business. So it's a great thing Rosemont Business Department has. Does anyone want to talk about how they came to their second major or how Rosemont gave them some extra opportunities?
I'll talk. Actually, so I was set on being a management major and I picked up marketing because I just sat in a marketing class. I don't know if I took it as an extra class or if it's I have to take that for management. I can't remember, but I really enjoyed it. It was so interesting and immediately I was able to apply that to my business. So that's when I really decided it was perfect for me. But to be honest, I had an advisor before Dr. Hagedorn and loved him to death. He was great, but I don't think he ever got as excited as me when I wanted to pursue more and do more and be extra about it. And Dr. Hagedorn just always like cheered me on and was so excited and is always so enthusiastic. If I come into her office and just tell her my new plans, it was all about it. So honestly, that's what encouraged me because at first I was like, okay, maybe this is like stupid. I'm doing too much. But her encouragement, I was like, no, this is smart. I'm excelling and yeah, it probably looks like I'm doing more than I need to, but it's a proud feeling and it's a good feeling like that. So I do credit a lot of aspects, but mostly Dr. Hagedorn for that.
That was wonderful. I have to say I also credit Dr. Hagedorn for so much at Rosemont. Brooks, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to talk quickly about why I did the 4+1 program here. Is because to sit for your CPA exam, you have to have a certain amount of credits to sit for it. So I picked up the 4+1 program because one, I wanted to have my MBA right after college, and it was just more an efficient way to get everything done. And then also I wanted to immediately, right after grad school, be able to sit for my CPA exam that last year of grad school basically and get it all done and out the way. So that's kind of the reason why I picked up the 4+1 program. It's really great. Once again, I think you're going to hear a lot of people singing Professor Hagedorn's praises because she's amazing. Read over my paper for everything for the grad program, told me everything I needed to change. It helped me a lot. Because I was so nervous. But I do think the 4+1 program is a very important program to have, not only just here, just in colleges all across the country, but it's a really added bonus that Rosemont has it because so far my professor has been really sweet, really nice, and yeah, I enjoy the class. So.
Brooks, I just want to continue with what you were saying because I know there are a few freshmen here right now. Would you be willing to explain what the 4+1 program is and what the CPA actually means?
So the CPA is certified. Basically, the difference between like a it's a national worldwide. It's kind of similar to like the law exam or something like that. It's kind of puts you on a different stature in comparison to other accounts, which is a basic bachelor in accounting or something like that. But the 4+1 program here at school, it basically is you have your 4 years of your undergrad and then you have 1 year of master's. So during your junior year, you're taking one grad class every semester. So you take one grad class your junior fall semester and your spring semester, and your senior class. Senior year, you take one fall and spring as well. So during that time, and then you end up taking whatever class is left during that last year of that 4+1. So that last year that's left. And you pay for those grad classes the same amount of money that you pay for your undergrad class. So a lot of those times you can use the classes that you take for your grad course to double dip between your undergrad requirements and your grad requirements. So it's kind of it's a way to one, get ahead and also like learn so much stuff at like a graduate level basically while you're still an undergrad. So it kind of helps build the other parts of your undergrad while still getting your degree. So yeah.
I know I'm also in Toby wanted to say something. I'll just Okay. Also, 4+1 program, and I know Zach is as well, and I think it's an opportunity that's really unique to Rosemont. I'm in Brooke's same class right now, and there's so many amazing people who are, some of them are younger like us, some of them are adults from the military, from professional careers, and it's just a wonderful way to meet new people and to take your career forward before you even actually get started with it. So it's definitely something worth looking into, and you start at your junior year. Toby, did you want to say something?
Yeah. I don't have a second major, but one thing that I know is that like when you are picking your major, you want to know that like you want to just take your major as if like it's your real job, like because that's what you want to do in the future. So like you want to go into your job happy. You want to go into your job smiling every day. So like pick something that's going to make you happy. Yes, it might be a lot of work now, but in reality, you're always going to be doing a lot of work no matter where you go. So like just when you think of your major, just make sure that it makes you smile. Like it's just something that pops off the paper to you, something like that. Like you want to pick it very wise, and you can always change it if it's something that you don't want to do. That's all I wanted to say.
Um, that made me think of a wonderful question that I would like to pose to everybody. Um, Will has his hand up. Will, did you want to ask a question?
As you said earlier about how she picked up marketing as a minor, and I too really enjoyed my marketing class with Professor Zoga, but at that point I had already named my major of communications and a minor in political science. So even though I wasn't able to it wasn't going to fit my schedule to add a second minor, dual major at the point when I decided to try and add that minor, but that just echoes what everyone's been saying about picking it wisely. And I do love my major in communications, and I'm taking a lot of classes that I feel suit strongly with the kind of things that I would be able to bring to the table as an employee. So I've been honing in on those skills as a communication major. But then some of my other interests, whether that be sports management, I pursued as a potential minor. But you had talked about what Rosemont had to offer me along the way, and Professor Lusk is a huge one. I really enjoyed his, political science classes enough to eventually name it as my minor. So his international relation classes, conflict resolution, really learning about how different countries communicate with one another really ended up being the minor that I wanted to put with my major, and something I knew that going into the potential of like an interview for something, I would be able to explain that and why that's the path I specifically chose. So I just wanted to share a little bit of my path and what Rosemont offered me and how I have navigated it. So thanks for providing me some time to speak.
Thank you, Will. That was a really great thing to add. I also wanted to talk about Chrissy. You had almost a second minor. Could you share that with us?
So I was going to complete my second minor in ethics and leadership, if that's what you're referring to. I decided not to pursue it just because I was looking at the material and I just didn't have a passion for it. And my double major and my minor that I've already completed, I do have a passion for. So it was just completely different. And after talking to Dr. Hagedorn, I was like, yeah, I'm doing an internship. I don't need to push a second minor when I'm going to be graduating with 2 degrees. And I have already completed my international business minor.
A lot of what we're hearing is just people's different passions. So I wanted to just ask the group panelists or just people who are attending, what class was your favorite at Rosemont that you found you had a passion for?
The most useful class I've taken is legal business. That, because I have my own business and because that legal aspect of it is so important, that really opened my eyes. And I was like, okay, sometimes you learn information that you might not apply in the real world, but I was like, okay, wow, this is very useful. And also, they don't tell you about being a business major, me owning my own business. My dad's like, I think you should eventually look for an accountant. And I'm like, well, I have all these choices out there because they're sitting in my classes. And it's funny because he mentioned, he's like, and I would go for someone who has like a CPA, you know, just trust them more. So hearing you guys talk about it, I'm like, yes, that's definitely smart because that's what's being recommended to me. But honestly, that class, yeah, it just made things make sense. It definitely helped. But to be honest, all my business classes have been fun. I think one of the most fun to me, because I didn't know how it worked and I should, was supply chain management. I literally probably did not even know what that meant. It's kind of very important if you own a business. So I took that last semester with Dr. Hagedorn, and that was a really cool class, just really figuring out product from start to finish.
Brooks?
A class that I say changed it all, other than financial accounting one, it would definitely have to be my intro to international business class that I took freshman year, first semester. It was, in the best words I can say, iconic, because we had the teacher that was, he's not here anymore, but it gave me like the first feel of like a real college, like business course in a sense, because I took it in my first semester and it was amazing. I don't know. He gave us all, we had to have a commodity, I think, yeah, a commodity and a currency. So you had to choose one, and throughout the semester, you had to track it the entire time, and you had to follow and keep updated with like world events of like, why was your currency going down? Like, why is corn not priced at the same value? And it made you like pay attention to everything that was going on, and it also helped you realize like everything. The world is 10 times more connected than we actually like really think that it is, because when you think about the stuff that affect certain things, like the reason why, like, I don't know, my beauty blender is more expensive is because of like a tariff war going off between US and China, like stuff like that. You realize the connection, and you realize like, I don't know how to describe it. It opened my mind to a lot how everything is worked and interconnected. And that class, also my intro to international relations class, that is another class that's with Professor Lusk. That was amazing. And if you haven't taken it, or if you can take it, I suggest, highly recommend taking that class. But yeah.
I know we've been talking a lot about business here, but another wonderful thing about Rosemont is, since we're so small, it's really easy to get to know things outside of your field. So I want to ask Zach to talk to us about his minor.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to say that would probably be my favorite class. Is I took visual fundamentals my freshman year, and for me that was just like a really nice way to like kind of chill and, you know, take your mind off of the day and get ready for soccer games and stuff like that. But yeah, the art minor is kind of interesting, and it came up in a really unique way. I've always been into art. I've always loved art. It's been kind of a good way to like express my creativity and maybe blow some steam off. So I started taking visual fundamentals 1 and 2, and that's like painting 1, and I think I'm going to take drawing 1. And I just really enjoyed it, and I thought the best thing I could do is just make it a minor, because if I want to go to graduate school, which fortunately I did the 4+1, your graduate degree could be something completely different than your undergraduate degree. So I figured I might as well have fun with it and do something I enjoy. So that's kind of how that came up.
I've been asking a lot of questions, so I just want to take a second to ask anyone in the chat if we have panelists, if we have freshmen, or if we just have upperclassmen from Rosemont. If you want to ask a question into our chat box, I will ask it out loud and see if we can get any answers for you. We do have freshmen here, so does anybody have some good advice for them?
You don't have to be perfect. You really don't have to be perfect, especially here at Rosemont. They give you so much breathing room to like make mistakes. You're feel free to make mistakes, whether it's like choosing your major or whether it's in a class and you you accidentally like fail a class or something like that, like, or even just like socially, like never be afraid to like make mistakes here, because people will, I feel like, at least in my experience, people will give you a second chance and give you room to grow. So I think that's a big tidbit.
Yeah, and I want to add to that, if you make mistakes or if things just aren't going well, there are so many resources at this school once you decide your major, you'll have your advisor, but there's also the SASC who can help you. They help a lot with if you need tutoring or if you need like to know how to study. And then we have things like the counseling center and we've got the chapel. There's just a lot of resources at Rosemont that are just always at your disposal. And we're all just really here to help each other like a big family. Did any of the people who joined to listen have anything they wanted to share?
I guess I could say like, so from my perspective, I think some good advice, like just go big or go home, like whatever you want. Like if you want to work at Google, figure out who works there, network your way up there, and then, just make it happen. I think like, it's literally like now, like anything is possible, so.
All right, so clearly we have a lot of, oh, Toby?
One other thing is, you gotta remember that what you do now is gonna help you for the future. So as he said, go big or go home. And with the networking, you wanna make sure that you're networking in the right way, because it's a wrong way to network. And when you network in the wrong way, you come off as annoying or somebody that they're not gonna re-look at in the emails. You have to like give it time, because patience is key when it comes to your future, and you can't rush into it only because you're gonna come into a wall and you're gonna crash very hard. So you want to just make sure that you're being patient with everything and that you're coming off respectfully when you're trying to network. And that's basically all I wanted to say.
Yeah, Toby, that was a really good point. The way you interact with people has a huge effect on things. Gabe, I know you didn't come here to speak, but I know this is something you're really great at. Do you want to talk to us about networking?
Yeah, sure. Did you say me, Maddie? Can you guys hear me? Yeah. All right. Good job, everyone. Yeah, I think, it's a clean sheet. So this is kind of related to what Toby just said, and also what Bree just said. So, if you're a freshman, you decide, who you want to be, what you want to do. And because it's so early, you can reach out to anyone and ask them really any question you have about what they do or, what company they work at and sort of how they got there. And you'll get a lot better of a response because you're interested just in learning from them. You're not trying to get a job. You're not harassing them or networking the wrong way. You're just trying to learn more about them. So, take advantage of the fact that you're a freshman and you can really sculpt yourself into, who you really want to be when you graduate.
Out of curiosity from our freshmen here, and if any of you have interest in something that you haven't pursued yet, do you know where you want to go yet? I don't mean to call you out.
Hi. So I know I spoke about it earlier. Like I said, I wanted to run or work with a nonprofit with my CPA. But one thing that I was been working on over the summer, which is another opportunity that was given to me by Rosemont through Professor Hagedorn and I can't remember, it's Professor Lombardi. Those two, it was called Kinetic Creators. So Kinetic Creators was a summer entrepreneurship business program that basically connects entrepreneurs in the US with people all across the country and also across the world, because it gives them this platform and this set of resources so they can build a business of their own. So what I did, I built an app over the summer. It's called Life Speaks. Life Speaks is an app that focuses on capturing police interactions during traffic stops. So you basically can record your interactions with law enforcement, post it onto this cloud service device, as well as post about your interactions with police officers. It's basically supposed to act as a de-stressor after certain those type of interactions that can very much heighten the body, obviously. And also, I was able to connect with a lot of people, like mentors and other people in that entire program. It was honestly the most amazing experience. So after college, I'm going to focus on building more apps like that, a lot of more social entrepreneur apps, because I feel like it's kind of lost in the market. Because as much as I'm concerned about I want to have a well-paying job and be comfortable after school, I also don't want to be lost in the fact that as individuals, we can definitely make impacts in different areas of our life, and we just have to make the decision to do that. So most of my focus for the last 2 years of college would be more so building on that app, as well as finishing off my degree so I can do something with the app and also probably work for like a big firm like EY or something. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, Brooks. I think that your entrepreneurship is wonderful, and that actually brings me to another thing that we could talk about, which is what we're doing after school. So, Zach, would you like to start us off on what you plan to do when you graduate with your 4+1 degree?
Oof, that's a good question because, you never really know. For me, I want to be involved with sports to whatever capacity that may be. I'm currently the assistant head coach of my high school team. I just got hired about 2 weeks ago, so that's a really nice step in the right direction to, the end goal of being involved in soccer. But as of right now, I'm going to get my MBA. I graduate with the MBA in sports management. So I'm not really sure. I think keeping an open mind is important, and doing as much as possible is really important too. But I also don't want to tie myself down too quick, and I don't want to have this set goal of I have to do this when I graduate, because I think sometimes you can miss out on an opportunity that may be present somewhere else. So for now, I know what I don't want to do, but I don't know what I want to do. And I think it's better for me to think that way, because I can rule out what I hate doing. I can keep all the options open to what I know I want to, possibly venture into the future. So for me, it's a big question mark, but I'm excited for it. And I think the future's bright for me, hopefully.
Thank you, Zach. If anyone else wants to just raise their hand if they want to say what they plan to do afterwards, and then I'm going to open it up for Q&A. Travis?
Hi, hello. I've been listening to everybody talk, and obviously great insight. Love it. Love the knowledge. Going off of what Zach said, like when you go to college, you gotta, because I've transferred to 2 different colleges. So I went to University of Maine, if y'all don't know where that is, and then I transferred to Rosemont. So I kind of feel like I've been a freshman twice. So like when you're a freshman, you gotta understand like it's okay to make mistakes, and you gotta understand, like Zach said, you gotta be open to opportunities. So you gotta be able to try a little bit of everything. So even if it's something that you never thought you would ever be pursuing, it could just be something that you one day love. Like Maddie changed her whole major in one day. Like, so, don't be so heart set on something, because you never know what you'll end up doing in the end. That's just what I wanted to say.
Thank you for sharing that, Travis. And then I also saw Chrissy raised her hand.
So my plans after college, the best advice I can give, I have everything planned out, but you can do that as much as you want. You really can't plan for the future set in stone. So I have this plan, but I'm also open to new opportunities, open to it changing and accepting that, because that might be better for me. I work at Ulta currently, and I do see a lot of potential in working corporate Ulta. I think the benefits are great. The job is great. I still want to continue to freelance makeup. My whole career, I love it. It's a passion that will never go away. And then obviously continue to grow my business. I started it last year as a junior. I sell lashes, but my first gloss I released was for the Innocence Project, which I really was proud. I got to do something that means so much. And I did sell out in a week. So that was really exciting as well.
That is an amazing accomplishment. I didn't know that, so kudos to you for sharing that, and thank you. If anyone else raises their hands for sharing plans after college. All right, so let's move on to a Q&A, and then we can just wrap up. Does anybody have any questions? Anything that they wanted to share? Everyone can unmute yourselves now so we can have a conversation.
Nobody?
Nobody? I guess we're great at explaining things then. All right, well, thank you everybody for coming. We're going to be doing this every week with a different topic every week. I believe next week is internships, right? So if you have an internship, want to look into an internship, that'll be a great place to talk and learn about that. So thank you all for coming. I hope to see you all again next week. Bye.
Bye.